Hello everyone, this is my formal welcome to my new YouTube channel, DarylTube, where I'll be introducing people who don't have TikTok or Instagram to my OCs that I later plan on being in a cartoon once I have the animating skills, you know. So this is pretty much going to be like an explanation of the OCs that I have, at least for the animatics that I have in compilations at this point. So we're heading right to that. So to start this explanation with some history, it all started in my freshman year. I was on online school partially because of COVID, and one of the subjects I took was guitar. And let me just tell you, that entire semester, I absolutely hated it. My fingers would just get super dented and pained. I could not do any chords. And yeah, it may have been partially because I didn't have like a in-person teacher to help me master it, but I just hated that subject. I probably would have smashed that thing if it wasn't a hand-me-down. But I was lucky enough to pass and replace that subject in the second semester with photography. And here's some absolute masterpieces that I've created. I was kind of going through a liminal space phase, so I kind of did something with the futon that came in. Yes, I've taken a lot of photos of my retro video games. I had a phase for that too, but I'm kind of out of that too. Oh, and there's the NES with Bubble Bobble. And a huge ass pile of Wii games. Yeah, that one's kind of my favorite because it looks so good. I just saw that on like a roof of someone's house that I walked past, so I had to take a pic of that. Anyways, during both of these semesters, however, I've taken a games design class. We had this assignment at one point where we just had to think like 3 different things at the top of our heads and see how we can make a video game out of it. One of the things that came to mind to me was a guitar for reasons before. It's kind of been on my mind. And at a later point, I thought of an alligator. For that, I was thinking of like some other video games that had like an alligator character. For examples, Croc from Croc, King K. Rool from Donkey Kong Country, and Vector from Sonic. And boom! Daryl was born. Our story starts off with a 15-year-old alligator who has to take guitar lessons for his freshman year. Or should I say, freshwaterman year. He soon realizes at the last minute that he hates it. He goes rambling on and on how guitars are overrated and overly difficult and shouldn't deserve much praise. The guitar, however, turns out to be sentient and is offended by Daryl's words. So late in the night, he runs away, searching for validation. Later finding out what happens the next morning, it is now Daryl's job to find Akusto and tell him that he's done wrong. Why doesn't he just buy a new guitar?
Because he's a talking guitar and shouldn't be by himself.
Okay, seriously though, I didn't really know how to explain that at first. I've now thought of the option as that because he and the school that gave him the guitar are too broke to have more than one. And obviously this whole video game stuff is dropped, but I still like that little backstory. So closer descriptions on these 2 characters. There's Daryl, half alligator, half crocodile, something I soon decided later analyzing his design. Very angsty, introverted teen. At some point came out as a homosexual because screw it, it's 2021. Which then leads us to the talking guitar, whose canonic name is Akusto, because he's acoustic. And of course he's a guitar that's very self-absorbed and sensitive. And to this day, I'm still impressed by how well I designed him. Like an arm for a strap, his eye in the hole thingy, and this acoustic shape, I don't know what that's called. I made that a nose. None of you could have done that. I am telling you right now. Now, Daryl is not that introverted. He has some herpetological friends of his own in high school. There's Sheldon, the shy, geeky tortoise, with some pretty strict parents. And Slyko, the very different from Sheldon young celebrity, mascot of his dad's life insurance company with the same name. Very original. 13 minutes can save you 13 plus on life insurance. But you know, mom, friend, bad influence, pretty good friendship dynamic in my opinion. And while this banger's still playing, I'm going to show you these other reptile characters that definitely got my creative juices flowing that are part of Urbit High. Allie, an alligator snapping turtle, very like goth girl that Sheldon has a crush on. Gary, the Gharial, not very much to him. Tachito, panther chameleon, very shy little guy. Probably a lot of people will be calling him baby, and I wouldn't blame them. Lauren, crested gecko. Again, not very much to her. I just wanted to create a crested gecko character. Alex, the false Gharial, Gary's twin sister. Flynn, bearded dragon, Australian foreign exchange student that's being housed by Alex and Gary. Jackie, milk snake, pretty much your average annoying popular girl. The parties and fat shaming, you know the ones. Rainy, the rainbow lizard, also gay, but a bit more stereotypical gay. Scarlet, the blue-tongued skink. Flynn's girlfriend, that's all I got. Tar, the northern crested newt. Now we're getting wild with the species. I imagine he's the type of person that Slyko looks up to. There's Bill, that's not really an actual snake species. He's just like the Google snake game that you probably play in the computer lab. Morty, the Gila monster. I feel like this kind of lizard doesn't get enough representation in cartoons, but it is your average football jock slash bully. I mean, you can see him taking your lunch money, right? Frankie, frilled lizard, soccer player, actually like best friends with Morty and will help beat up some kids. I mean, look at the gremlin energy in this chick. Craig, African bullfrog, Discord moderator. Riley, the Tuatara, obsessed with dinosaurs, probably has ADHD. And lastly, Zach, the spectacled caiman. Big freaking nerd and Sheldon's rival. The staff is pretty important too, so I could show you guys them too. Here's Mr. Rex, principal slash math teacher. Mrs. Smith, English. She's actually based on the snake I found in the San Diego Zoo. And based on a frog at said zoo, Mr. Ribbert. Art. Miss Muddy, axolotl, science. Coach Heldo, name says all that you need to know. Yet another species of lizard that I found at the zoo, which by the way is actually related to the Gila monsters, so this guy would be Morty's uncle. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Gator, performance art, and history. As you may suspect, this is Daryl's dad that got him to do guitar, pretty much where his alligator genes came from. And here's his mom, by the way, if you're wondering. Now with the entire high school said and done, we have another character. Creating this one, I literally was just making Daryl as a shark before I even just had like the same color clothing as Daryl, but I switched him up later to be different. So anyway, here's Daniel. He finds Akusto stranded at the bottom of the ocean. Notice he's like very sad, so he takes him inside, fixes him up. Akusto vents to him for a while. And unlike Daryl, Daniel like really likes guitars. So Akusto definitely prefers him over Daryl. But Daryl soon ends up finding Akusto in Daryl's sunken cruise ship. And Daniel's like, he told me everything. How could you treat such a loyal instrument this way? And Daniel's like, all right, I'm sorry. So can we head back now? And Daniel's like, no, he absolutely hates you. He wants to be with me. And Daryl's like, well, I have some lessons to do. So how about I like take him when I have lessons and you can have him for the rest of the time. And Daniel's like, okay, sounds good. Just try to treat him nicer. And I'll even give you some tutoring. Do you want to make out? Yeah, they do end up dating though. Daniel's bi, so it just works out like that. Though Daniel's part of the main cast, that's kind of all I got for him. And I do have some other ocean creatures that I'd like to share with you. Here's Brandon right here. Same idea as like Daryl as a shark. This time it's literally Sheldon as an orca. I also later decided to give him autism. He used to do some volunteer work at SeaWorld, but his areas were a little bit too small for him, so he just retired. Also, this big guy loves hugs. He just likes to hug everyone he meets. I just thought that would be like a little cute little thing to him. By the way, to any autistic people watching this, does this guy give some good representation to you guys? That might be good to know. Alright, some more sea creature characters are some seals at this music store Daniel used to work at, hence his obsession with guitars. Guitar Anemone, inspiration from Guitar Center, if you couldn't tell. Here's Daniel's co-worker, Leon, I guess a sea lion, I don't remember. Cashier, kind of hates his job, but still like mellow, totally nothing to do with seaweed. Like at a kid show? Are you kidding me? And here's the employer. Elephant seal, Mr. Blubber. That greedy seal, you can probably see my inspiration at this point, sort of. But at the same time, Daniel and Leon do get along pretty well though. Also for an Atomatic, you'll see, Daniel quit the Guitar Enemy some time before meeting Akusto, and he notices how big the prices have gone up for picks, tuners, all the essentials that he'll need at this point. So he just decides to drop the store. In case you didn't catch it, I lied. There is more to Akusto than being obsessed with the guitars. In fact, there is a villain character that is kind of associated with him, Tsunami, mentally deranged dolphin. So you know how dolphins are usually portrayed as like this adorable animal that everyone loves, but turns out they do some like pretty freaky stuff? Well, Tsunami is kind of responsible for that media. So yeah, Tsunami starts this whole idea that dolphins are these innocent, adorable animals, while sharks are the ones to be afraid of, causing a lot of racism for Daniel. So you know, Tsunami doesn't feel like a total freak. Which then leads us to our last two characters that have a villain-esque vibe to them. Not really villains to the plot that much, but still give off evil vibes. Kratz, the shoe-billed stork, and Nas, the black swan. Think of the dynamic as these two, similar to Zim and Gur, Pinky and the Brain. Just to be clear, Nas is Pinky and Kratz is the brain. But slightly contrasting from those dynamics, instead of taking over the world, they just simply steal stuff. Again, don't really contribute much to the cartoon's plot, but they do help out Tsunami every now and then. And there you have it, my 34 OCs that will be kind of important to my animatics. Right, I also forgot to mention Kryko, which is just Lyco, but as a blue crayfish, but he'll probably be scrapped. Anyways, as soon as this video is uploaded, I'll have the first compilation uploaded as well. Just bear in mind that these videos are from 2021 on TikTok, so I'm kind of self-conscious that it's not like something that people would be interested on YouTube, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Anyway, see you later. Alligator,